All right, so just in case you're wondering, this meeting is getting recorded, and so just so everybody's aware. Thanks for making the time to join us on we try and do this on a quarterly basis development forum, so uh, thank you again for joining, and hopefully you'll find this a good use of your time. I think we'll continue to do this virtually. It seems like we get pretty good participation that way, or at least attendance. If you have questions, drop them in the chat, and we'll be monitoring that. And when we get to the end, we'll go through those. So first on the agenda is Jared with the city's finance department, who's going to give everybody an update on where we are in the impact fee process, what's going on, and what you can look forward to. So Jared, over to you.
Thanks, Christopher. I think this is going to feel like deja vu for a lot of people since I'm just here presenting the schedule. I think back on our last meeting, we had talked about going out with our public notice in January. But as we were getting our draft together, the original draft that we received just didn't quite have reasonable information in there that we wanted to distribute to the public and start talking about. So we've actually pushed it back a few months, but we're getting ready to take it to council for the public notice on the 20th. So it'll be not this Monday, the following Monday. Just to give everybody a kind of a run through again, Tischler Bice is the consultant that we're going with. One of the things we're doing a little bit differently is we actually we're working with Harvard Development and are using the master plan that they have put in place for their water and wastewater infrastructure as a guide for our growth in our southern areas and help us guide what we're putting in the impact fees. Then we're seeing construction costs. You guys are seeing construction costs, so it certainly is an impact on what these fees are looking like. Let's get to the schedule. So we're looking to post and have the public notice on the land use assumptions and infrastructure improvements plan on March 20th, going to council for a work session item that night as well to run them through that. Then we'll be staging some stakeholder outreach meetings. And right now we're looking at having 3 fairly early in April. And we're working with our consultant right now to get those dates nailed down. We're looking to have those meetings in person, but we will likely have a hybrid option where people can join virtually, but we're kind of used to getting engagement from folks in person. And as we kind of work through this new digital world, we want to make sure our IIP and land use assumption we get the proper outreach that we need. So we'll be having them in person with a digital option for folks. And again, we're going to schedule 3 for early April, 2 specifically really focused at this group, a 3rd one for the public at large. And that'll give us an option when we do those in April. That'll give us an option to schedule another outreach meeting if necessary with stakeholders. Let's say we get some feedback, we make some changes, we can bring that back to the group again before the May 22nd public hearing on the LUA and the IIP, looking for adoption of both of those June 26th, which will push our fee adoption with the notice of intention back to July 10th, the public hearing after the council break, August 28th, with adoption October 16th. With the effective dates targeted for, technically it's December 30th of 2023, but that's a Saturday, so we're not going to be coming in and updating our fees that day. So we'll be having an effective date on the fee change be January 1 of 2024. Any questions on that? Knowing that there'll be plenty of time for questions on the detail of the report as we set those stakeholder outreach meetings.
Hopefully you can hear me better, but we have the chat available for questions.
I don't see anything going in the chat.
They probably want to see the report. There's not much to talk about with the schedule, pretty
Right.
much prescribed by state statute. So like I said, we'll have plenty of opportunity to crunch through the numbers as we go forward.
Yep. Cool. Thanks, Jared. Appreciate that. Next on our agenda is general plan update, excuse me. Guadalupe Ortiz Cortez was going to do that, but she's tied up this afternoon. So I believe Katie is stepping in to provide that information. So Katie?
Yes, thank you, Christopher. Good afternoon to everybody. Can you hear me okay? Excellent. So just a few little updates on the general plan. Our next general plan committee meeting is April 5th at 6 p.m. here at Goodyear City Hall. Those are always open to the public. We are working on planning our next round of community workshops. Those are going to be held in May. The specific dates are yet to be determined. So we'll get those out as soon as we have them. Definitely of note to this group, we're hoping to have the draft plan available for review on June 1st. So that would be the official 60-day review. We would send it out to this group, and that's when we would hope to get comments from everybody so we can address any concerns, comments that the development community has. And again, our website is goodyeargp.com. So we're putting updates on our workshops. The draft plan will go up there. So everything is there for you. That's really all there is to share on the general plan right now. So are there any questions I can answer? Just put it in the chat. And again, you can always reach out to Guadalupe or Steve or myself if you have additional questions.
Thanks, Katie. Don't see any questions right now, so we'll keep monitoring the chat. Next is design guidelines update. Oh, look, that's me. So council had a retreat in early February to go over. As many of you know, we have a new council member that was recently elected and sworn in, Councilmember Gillis. And we had the council retreat usually takes place a little bit earlier in the year, but this time because of the new council member, we had it in early February. That way she had some time to acclimate and get used to city departments and what the roles and functions of everybody is. But anyway, council had a retreat in early February, and one of the action items that came out of that retreat for DSD is council desires for us to go ahead and move forward with updating our design guidelines now. We had that on our work plan, and we were going to execute it after the adoption of the general plan, but council asked us to advance that effort currently. So we're working with our friends in finance to get everything taken care of on that end, and we're working with our consultant team, who's also working on the general plan, in order to begin that effort. So we're in the final stages of sort of contract negotiation with them and scope negotiation. We are going to be starting that pretty soon, probably within the next couple of weeks after we get the contract all situated. We have built in that schedule a very robust engagement process with you all of the development community. We certainly want to hear your thoughts about our current design guidelines, how they could be more clear and provide more certainty, and things of that nature. So we will be engaging with you on more than one occasion. I don't have the exact schedule just yet because we're still negotiating that with our consultant team, but we will share that with you, and you will have multiple opportunities for input, and we do take what you say in your input very to heart. It's important to us. So the goal here is we would like to have these design guidelines in front of council for adoption by the end of calendar year 2023. So essentially it's mid part of March. So if we get started in earnest in April, we're probably going to be having a lot of dialogue with the development community early to midsummer, and then beginning to finalize everything and go through the legal proceedings and the adoption process in mid-fall. So just wanted to update everybody on that. And again, there will be plenty of opportunity for your input. We will share the documents in draft form. And please, we encourage you to take the time to give us your thoughts on them. That's what I have on that one. If there's any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll monitor it, and we'll come back to that at the end of our agenda a little bit as well. Marty. you want to talk about engineering design standards?
Yes, thank you, Christopher. Hopefully everyone can hear me just as well. So we do have a contractor on board for working through the EDS and PM, our engineering design standards and policies manual. It will be Kimley Horn and Associates is the contractor. We have an internal kickoff meeting scheduled with them on March 20th, and from there we'll probably get a little bit more of a comprehensive schedule. For those of you that have been around since the last time we went through this, it'll kind of be a similar approach. It'll be broken down into pieces of the standards, likely by chapter and kind of the discipline areas. So there are internal meetings followed by external meetings. So some of you on this call will likely be involved in that process just to get external input on things that are going well, things that aren't going well, things that are no longer relevant, or pain points on your end as well as our end. So we just want to have the opportunity to walk through that, our internal folks as well as external customers. So more to come on that. This will also, it'll be a comprehensive update. So we'll be going in and updating some things in every chapter. A lot of the details will also be updated. There will be creations of new details just to keep up with current industry standards. There's been a lot of changes since 2017 in that respect as well. So we're just trying to keep up with everything else going on. So more to come on that. It should be anywhere from a 12 to 18 month process. So we're looking early to mid 2024, rolling that out. So if there are any questions on that, please drop a message in the chat or contact me directly. Either way, it's fine. Thank you.
Thanks, Marty. Next is Katie. We have an update on preliminary plat processing, which is exciting, I think. Go ahead,
Yes, this is really exciting. So a few months ago, we went to City Council in work session with a few ideas on how to improve our processes. And we did get authorization from council to start an amendment to the city code to make our preliminary process a preliminary plat process an administrative process. So currently we require both Planning Commission and City Council approval. So if this change were to be adopted, it would mean staff can approve it. We think that would save about 6 weeks off the process. Again, we've already talked about this with council. They gave us authorization to move forward, but it does require council action. Tentatively, we're looking at taking that code change to council April 10th. And so definitely, if anybody wants to provide any comments in writing, please feel free to send those to me or Christopher, Alyssa, whomever's email you have, but I would be the best point of contact. We would especially love to hear and share with council how this may impact you, if you have stories from the development perspective on how this could be a benefit, so we can share that with council and hopefully get this across the finish line. That would certainly be helpful to us. And then of course, we will post it. So if you watch our agendas and see it and want to come to the meeting, you are more than welcome. But it is a change to the city code. So we don't have all the public hearings we would have if this was a zoning ordinance change. So again, hopefully that goes through and we will get everything updated after we get the city code fully updated, and we'll keep you up to date on those process changes. Any questions on that?
I don't see any going in. Great, thanks, Katie. Just to piggyback on what Katie said, I mean, it sounds a little funny to say that we're excited about a preliminary plat process, because who gets excited about plats, right? But we do, because this is actually making it a little bit easier, not only for you all as our customers, but for us as well. So actually, truly, we are very excited about the opportunity for this change. And this is, I think it's going to be a beneficial impact, not only for you all who invest in our community, but also less things for us to have to touch. So, and less things for council action, council approvals and planning commission approvals. So it's a good thing. Thank you, Katie. Randy, you want to, oh, let's see. Carolyn Overholster. Carolyn, we'll circle back to your question at the end, if that's okay, about preliminary plats. We'll bring them all up at one time. We'll run through them all. Thanks for posting that, Carolyn. Randy, you want to give an update on our Acela project and where we are, where we're headed?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here today. And just to give you a quick update, we are moving forward with the implementation of Acela for our main permitting software. We will be using it throughout our whole department and throughout the city. So it'll be planning, civil, building, and also our code compliance divisions. We're pretty excited about it. It's going to be everything all in one place. It will bring a new look to the customer interface portal. We believe that it's going to be easier for you all to navigate through. And so we are pretty excited about it. We're making good progress on that. Our tentative date for launch is October 2nd of this year. Well, we are moving along, and as you can imagine, with any project of this size, it could be fluid. We're hoping to hit that target date. There will be GIS components to it, and it will be a great opportunity for more open information. We believe for our customers to be able to gather information essentially kind of on their own more easily. So we're hopeful that it's as good for you all as it is for the city as well, the internal users and external users. Really, I think that's kind of it in a nutshell at this point. It's hard to get into too many details, and I wouldn't want to bore you with all of that, but just know that it's coming and it will be a better solution all across the board.
Thanks, Randy. Yeah, just to quickly piggyback on that, the city's current system, HTE, which I'm sure just everybody's super familiar with, right? Has been a long-standing program since the mid-90s that the city's used. So we actually are coming into modern technology here, and we're looking forward to it being an enhanced customer service delivery for you all, and a one-stop platform for us as well. So it really is exciting, and it is a huge amount of work. And Randy is full-time on the project team along with Debbie White, so I want to publicly thank them for all of their work on that, because it is a huge lift. And we are looking forward to getting there on October 2nd as well. Thanks for that update, Randy. Let's see, next is phone line update. Alyssa.
Yeah. So before I do my update, since Randy was in the spotlight right now, there was one item that we had left off the agenda, which was the building code update, which actually there'll be a separate development form for that. But Randy, would you mind kind of giving us a little bit spiel?
Sure, be happy to. So we are moving forward with the adoption of the 2021 international codes, all of the same codes that we currently have, just a later version of them. And as you can imagine, we have some local amendments, mostly administrative stuff. There will be some changes, and I have, with the assistance of Alyssa, we've put out an email to the development community and provided our draft proposals. I encourage you to take time to look through those. If you have any comments, concerns, or whatever on those, certainly you can email me directly. All I ask is that you would put in the subject matter line 21 code amendments, and that way I can keep them all in one place. And I want to be attentive to listening to what you have to say, any feedback that you have. And please attend the meeting that we're going to be having later on this month. But again, that process is moving forward. I'm hopeful to take those to council either late April or early May with an implementation of July 1. And then like the last time when we adopted, there will be kind of a grace period where if you're already in design under something, and you're within a window, will allow you to continue to use that through that project, or you'll also be able to go to the 21 codes ahead of time if you would so choose. But all of that will be available, and certainly if you have questions, please reach out to me directly through email and just put in the tagline 2021 code amendments. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And yes, more to come on that. Like Randy said, we'll be having another meeting at the end of March. So that invitation and all that information will come from me back out to the development forum. So if you got the invite for this meeting, you'll get the invite for that meeting. And yeah, so more information on that to come. So my item is for a phone line update. So as some of you may know, we work closely with the engineering department, but we have taken over pretty much all development short of CIP, which still resides in engineering. And because of that, we wanted to consolidate and simplify our phone line system. And so I'm going to actually share my screen because on our website, we've split apart development services and engineering. Now development services has its own phone line. Without engineering, they are 3005. We are 3004. That's the only difference there. And we have 3 options for each one. So building inspections, still can schedule them over the phone just as before. Option 2 is our development center, our development counter, and they can guide you to whoever you need to talk to. And then code compliance issues is option number 3. Engineering has their own phone line now, phone number, and their options are to report a streetlight outage, street maintenance and traffic operations, and capital improvement program. And just as a reminder, we did go over this in the last development forum, but just as a reminder, we have moved. We are at 1900 North Civic Square. The engineering department has remained over on Van Buren at our Goodyear Municipal Complex. And this is our main page here, engineering and development services on our website. So all that information is here. Feel free to email us. But yeah, that's my update.
Thank you. Thanks, Alyssa. And just for clarity, like civil plan review, civil inspections are all part of DSD. Used to be part of engineering. Last January, we absorbed our civil plan review and inspection friends into DSD to really make a more unified one-stop shop. So engineering is streets as street lights, street traffic signals, traffic maintenance, traffic management, and then also the city's capital improvement program. So thanks for that, Alyssa. Alex is going to give us an update about a customer survey. This is super important, and we wanted to highlight this and what Alex is going to share because we want to hear what you think. So anyway, Alex, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've worked with a lot of you on the planning side of things, but in December I moved over to the administration team as a business analyst. The city and our department specifically is focused on customer experience. It's one of our goals is to improve the customer experience. We are committed to continuously improving our processes. You've heard a lot of that throughout today's presentation. But to capture that customer experience improvement, we do need some baseline data. So by the end of today, hopefully, we'll get a survey sent out to everyone in the development forum and as many customer emails we can get our hands on. It's 5 questions, one open-ended question where you can share some details about your experience, but just like I said, trying to capture some baseline data while we implement some improvements, and then we'll continue to survey in the next couple months, couple years, ongoing to make sure we're hitting that mark. So please keep an eye out for that email and take it, and we'll be doing our best.
And Alex, who's that email coming from? Just so they're aware.
It is going to come from, I believe, the DSD admin email.
Okay.
I want to make it so it's not going to a direct person.
Okay, great. But it's not like a Survey Monkey or something email
Right.
address.
It won't, no.
Yeah,
It will be
so
a SurveyMonkey, sorry, it will be a SurveyMonkey link from a department email.
there you go. So it'll be an email you receive from the city. Perfect. Yeah, and as Alex says, just a couple of, it's 5 questions, one open-ended. We wanted to kind of keep it a little bit brief just so it wasn't too difficult to execute for you. We do really value your opinions and your thoughts, your constructive criticism and things of that nature, because as Alex said, we are, and you've all heard us say this before, we're on a journey of continuous improvement. And one of the things that we want to do is focus in on the things that you identify of areas of opportunity that we can do better at. So please take the time, share it with your colleagues as well. I'm happy for you to do that. And we look forward to getting that information. After we get those results, we're going to take those results, analyze them, and then chart out our path to address the particular topics and so forth. So it is important, and we are going to just create a path of improvement based on the feedback that we receive. So please take it. One more thing it's not on the agenda. I'm going to go rogue here for a minute, which isn't surprising to people in the city because I do this all the time. But before we get to Carolyn's question in the chat, I do want to just take a minute to recognize Steve Cinto for coming back to DSD. Steve had been on professional hiatus over with our water and wastewater group for what, Steve, 6-8 months?
About 6 months. Yep. Thanks.
Yep. So we loaned Steve out and his expertise when Javier essentially was leaving the city, and it kind of turned into a thing. Steve did a fantastic job keeping everything moving over that way and providing good service and so forth. Steve, is there anything you want to talk about in relation to your journey through the wilderness over there with in water and wastewater, or that the group should know?
Only that as of Monday, like Christopher said, I'm back over here full time in development services. Obviously, I'll still be connected to some of the projects going on back there. And as far as development community related, we had a special development forum back, I forget, I think it was December into last year, to talk about kind of the wastewater situation in Goodyear that primarily impacts the center of the city, but also will be Estrella as well. So won't get into that today, but can still be a point of contact for folks with questions about that naturally. So otherwise, yeah, happy to be back and be getting back into the projects and sure working with a lot of you soon. So.
Great, thanks, Steve. And as part of that, when one person leaves, we kind of did a little bit of a domino effect. I want to thank Marty and Logan for stepping up on our civil plan review side. Marty was interim director over there, and Logan was interim manager, and kept the trains rolling, so to speak, and everything moving forward. So it's not easy to assume a new role that you're not familiar with, and especially when we've been busy like we are and have been. And so thanks, Marty and Logan, for your efforts there. But we're also super glad Steve's back. So it's a good thing. Yes, sir, Randy.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, you mentioned earlier, I'm full-time on this new permitting software project. I just wanted to point out to the group here that Cheryl Mullis, our deputy building official, has taken on the role of building official while I'm on this project. So thanks to Cheryl for keeping the trains rolling, so to speak, with all of the projects and activity that's going through the department.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Randy. All right, well, that gets us to questions and answers. Carolyn's question was, great news on preliminary plat change. Will that apply to all projects that have been submitted but not scheduled for hearing? Katie, you want to take a stab at that?
Yep, that would be absolutely our intent. And typically when council makes a change, they want it implemented immediately. So someone really, really wants to take their plat to council, I guess we would let you, but hopefully that would not be the
Right.
case.
Yep. Thank you, Katie. Any other questions? Let's see, scrolling through the chat. I don't see anything. You're welcome, Carolyn. All right. Well, I guess with no other questions or anything, I think that concludes our agenda. And I just want to thank everybody for making the time. And we will, Alyssa, we're going to post this video on the website. Is that what we'll do?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
so it was recorded. I set it up to automatically record because I'm terrible at hitting that button at the beginning of a meeting. So it will be on the website. And yeah, and if there are any questions that you think of later that you couldn't think of now, or if you attended over the phone and you have something you needed to ask, please feel free to forward that over to me. I was the one that sent out the invitation, Alyssa Magley, and then I'll get that hopefully taken care of for you.
Great. Perfect. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.